This 6,000-year-old Egyptian book revealed a horrifying discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll have been discovered, shedding light on the Garden of Eden. It was the place where God created Adam and Eve, according to the Bible. Our ancestors may have lived there for a remarkable 70,000 years. The exact location of the Garden of Eden, where God created the heavens and the earth, is still debated. It represents the transition from innocence to our current state of knowledge, sin, sorrow, and death. While it is a religious concept, many people believe it exists and can be found. Recent findings may challenge our understanding of this mythical place, with references in Genesis 2:3, Ezekiel 28 and 31 considered significant by some. The word Eden comes from different ancient languages, which signify a fertile and well-watered plain. It is also linked to an Aramaic root word meaning pleasure. In Genesis 2:8, the Vulgate translates it as Paradisium voluptatis, meaning a paradise of pleasure. The Garden of Eden is often depicted in the Bible as a luxurious place filled with abundance and considered God's garden. It is described as a flawless paradise without hunger, death, or sickness. The location of Eden is mentioned in Genesis as the source of 4 rivers, which has led to various possible locations, including the head of the Persian Gulf in southern Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers meet the sea, as well as Botswana and Armenia. Scholars have differing opinions on the precise location of the Garden of Eden, with some suggesting it might be a celestial realm where gods dwelled. It is believed that the water from the sacred garden served as the source of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which played significant roles in the Genesis flood story and the Tower of Babel account. The story of Eden shares similarities with an ancient Mesopotamian myth involving a primordial man tasked with protecting the tree of life in a divine paradise. Because of their innocence, Adam and Eve, as described in the Hebrew Bible, were depicted as being naked while wandering in the garden. The Bible mentions the Garden of Eden in various passages, including Genesis, Isaiah 51:3, Ezekiel 37:35, and Joel 2:3. Other sections, like Zechariah 14 and Ezekiel 47, describe a vision of paradise without explicitly using the name Eden. In the second part of the Genesis story, the Lord creates Adam and places him in the garden, located eastward. The garden contains all kinds of beautiful and nourishing trees, except for one tree that carries the knowledge of good and evil. This garden, known as the Garden of God, provides water to 4 important regions: the Pishon, which flows into the land of Havilah, the Gihon, which flows into the land of Cush, and the Tigris, which runs along the eastern side, and the Euphrates. While the garden is filled with appealing trees, 2 trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, hold particular significance. The Genesis story presents some inconsistencies regarding the presence of both trees in the garden. Genesis 2:8, 9, and 3:1 and 3 mention the existence of both trees, while Genesis 3:22 through 24 suggests that these significant trees were specifically planted on the eastern edge of the Garden of Eden, where Adam was originally placed. Furthermore, other biblical scriptures provide different descriptions of the garden, and the luxurious aspects are not explicitly mentioned in Genesis 2:4 to 3:24. Due to these variations and other factors, the Garden of God was often understood as a metaphor in the ancient Near East, representing the dwelling place of the gods. According to the narrator of Genesis, the Garden of Eden was symbolically constructed to serve an explanatory purpose rather than being seen as the actual divine abode of the first man and woman. Scholars have put forth various theories about the location of the Garden of Eden. Taddeer Struerlin suggests that Ezekiel depicts it in Lebanon, which is also mentioned in the Phoenician tale as the alternate location. Edward Lipinski and Peter Karmakata propose connections between paradise, the Garden of Eden, and the Forest of Lebanon. They point to Lebanon's mountain sanctuary and the anti-Lebanon hills as possible locations for the earliest Sumerian analog of the Garden of Eden, known as the Garden of the Gods. Other theories include the Persian Gulf's head in Mesopotamia, the Armenian highlands or plateau, and Persia near Tabriz. Some religious groups believe a terrestrial paradise exists outside the Middle East. Earlier Mormon leaders contend that it was in Jackson County, Missouri, while the Panacea Society believed it was in Bedford, England. preacher Eli E. Calloway suggested the Apalachicola River in Florida, near the hamlet of Bristol, as a possible location. Some reports suggest that the Garden of Eden could be in Jerusalem, which adds to the diverse range of opinions. Christopher Columbus, during his third journey, believed he had discovered an earthly paradise when he reached the South American mainland. The Garden of Eden holds significant importance in human and religious history, and many believers consider it to be a real place whose location remains unknown to most. Scholars find the biblical references, particularly the mention of the four rivers, to be the most convincing clues for its possible location. However, pinpointing the exact positions of Gihon and Pishon presents challenges, especially considering the significant geographical changes that have occurred since biblical times. Additionally, the absence of landmarks or structures built by Adam, as described in Scripture, further complicates the search. The author of Genesis portrayed the garden as a distinctive place with unique characteristics, but its precise identification remains elusive. In recent years, a fresh idea regarding the location of the terrestrial paradise has emerged based on a discovery in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Archaeologist Jody Magnus proposed this concept after witnessing a finding in the cathedral, which led her to believe she might have an answer to this intriguing question. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, situated in the ancient city, is believed to be the place where Jesus of Nazareth was crucified and resurrected at a location called Calvary. According to her, this site also holds significance as the burial place of Adam. It is said to be located beneath the Rock of Golgotha, a rocky outcrop where Jesus was crucified. Magnus explains that below the rock there is the Chapel of Adam, and a long-standing Christian tradition associates this spot with Adam, the first man. According to legend, when Jesus was crucified on the rock above, his blood flowed down through a crack, reaching Adam, who was buried below. As a result, Adam was resurrected. This legend suggests that Adam spent most of his life in the same location associated with the Garden of Eden. While some scholars suggest that Jerusalem was considered the Garden of Eden due to its significance in early Judaism and the events described in the Bible, this theory contradicts the biblical depiction, leading many to reject it. Dr. Magnus believes that the Garden of Eden is located in Jerusalem, considering its importance in religions and the biblical events associated within the city. However, this perspective is not widely accepted. In 2019, an extensive DNA study led experts to conclude that our ancestors resided in the northern region of Botswana, specifically to the south of the Zambezi River. Some propose that it may be the divine terrestrial paradise mentioned in religious texts. However, the exact site of the biblical garden remains elusive. You can feel free to share your thoughts on this topic in the comments section below, and please make sure you subscribe and like this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.